friend, he should be honest with you and tell you the truth. You just told me, he told you that the backbone means something else. He is not a friend. My friend is the one who honest with me. It doesn't matter what I'm talking about. Anything else, he is not a friend.
Yeah, yeah, like I said, in my heart, I know some things are fishy, and
okay, in your heart, something is fishy. So now it's not in your heart. It's in your brain.
I'm not gonna be like denying things that are so true or give my own interpretation. Like I heard the person before you, he was trying to make it fit with the West, and but if that's what he said, then you just gotta admit it.
My friend, everything I say, I never will say something unless it's true and I can prove it. Otherwise, people will laugh at me. Otherwise,
and
even Christians, they will lose their trust on me. This is, and not only that, and on top of that, I have to fear God, because if I'm lying to you, that's mean I'm not Christian no more. I lost my salvation. So I have no reason to lie to you, my friend. But in Islam, officially, you can lie. Chapter 3, verse number 28. There's tons of verses. You can lie, and you will not be questioned by Allah. Even the Quran says, Allah will not question you for false oath. You can take even a false oath in Islam. In Christianity, Jesus said, say yea, yea, or nay, nay, which means you cannot take an oath. Anything else is from the devil. Those who take oath, they are obviously lying. They jump to say, I will take an oath, because now he's saying to us, I lie all my life, but today I decide to be honest, so I'm going to take an oath. A Christian person should not take an oath, because he should be always telling the truth without oath. So we have a religion saying you can lie, you can make a statement which is a false statement, you can say something in your heart, but in your lips is something else. It's okay. Yeah. And here we go. This is Ibn Abbas, the one you like. It says,
I don't like him. I just looked at.
Doesn't matter if you like him or not. Who care about it? It's not about liking. We're not taking selfie with him. But this is what the teaching is. It says here that the Muslim who take non-Muslims as a friend, and he is sincere. If he is sincere, he who is sincere.
Yes, I know.
Yeah. So if you do that, you have no honor, no protection, no mercy from Allah, unless what? Unless that you guard yourself against them, save yourself from them, taking it as a way of security, saving yourself from them by speaking in a friendly way toward them while your heart dislike this. This is the devil.
I know.
Your friend was doing taqiyya with you, my friend.
Or tawriya.
He was doing taqiyya, exactly. He's trying to protect Islam against your thought. You have a questions? He knew that you have a question.
I know. Listen, I know. I come from a Muslim majority country, and I know what the things that were told about Christians, Jews, and unbelievers. So,
okay,
I'm not going to be here. Where are you from? Are you Arab?
I am an Arab. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. I said I am an Arab. Yes.
Are you Arab yourself?
I am an Arab. Yeah.
Well, then the things that we're told about Christians and Jews from a very young age.
Yeah. So now,
friend, I know about this. I'm not going to deny them.
My friend, let us be smart. You are an intelligent man, and today you call me for a reason, and you just arrived to a conclusion that this is horrible, and we heard you saying that, and this is a great news for you. You are making your mind, and you are awake. So why you don't say I am out?
I just want to ask you one more question, if that's okay for you.
Go ahead.
If you're not in a hurry or something.
No problem.
I've heard one of the things that make me wonder so much is praying in the direction of the Qibla. It doesn't make sense to me, because if God is omnipresent and everywhere, then there shouldn't be a direction to pray. God is everywhere. You can pray in whichever direction you want. So that's one of the things that doesn't really make sense to me. And I've heard many people say that the direction wasn't even chosen by Allah. It was chosen by Umar, but I don't have evidence for that. I'm not sure. Do you know anything about that?
Yes, it says, وَافَقَنِي رَبِّي فِي ثَلَاثٍ. My Lord, He agreed with me in 3 things. In fact, there's many hadith says He agreed with me in 7. Some they say 10. So Allah, He agreed with Umar in 3 things, and one of them is the direction and making the Kaaba as a prayer station. And here you need to ask yourself, what kind of God? He forgot about the Kaaba all those years. Muhammad was praying to Jerusalem all these years. Suddenly, Umar al-Khattab, he said, okay, well, let us pray to Jerusalem, pray to Kaaba, you know, and that supposedly was an idea from Umar, and Allah, he liked the idea. And not only that, you know, Allah, he took the words of Muhammad, and you know, he brought the verse exactly as Umar he said. And you are the one who
Because
said to me a few minutes ago, if you remember,
yeah,
that the Quran itself is a miracle, right?
yes,
Okay, should Allah then copy Quran from Umar? If nobody can make Quran, but Allah take
yeah,
his Quran from Umar, how that can be?
yeah. Well, in the Quran it says, I can't remember the verse and so on, but it says that with Allah is talking and it says, I've chosen the direction for prayer for you. So basically he said,
My
I've
friend,
chosen
no, no
the
problem,
direction.
no problem. But you see, this is Islamic reference, and this is Muslims who
Yes,
preserve those
yes,
references. It says, read carefully with me. So the verse was revealed the same as I had said. Do you see it?
yes.
But I thought nobody can make Quran like the Quran. But Allah here is copying Umar, and he put what Umar said exactly in the Quran.
Yes, because you know it's hard for me to admit it, but even if something is written in the Quran, we don't have a guarantee that's 100% from Allah. It could have been,
My
you
friend,
know, who
forget
wrote those
about it's
verses down.
100% or not. Now we have a story where all the Muslims agree upon it, that Umar, he said something, Allah, he take it and he put it in the Quran. The Muslims agree, not me. This is not a Christian reference. So as long the Muslims, they agree that yes, Allah, he learned from, he took from Umar. Umar, he says something, Allah, he take it, he make it Quran. That's mean Umar, he's making Quran too.
Yes, yeah, that doesn't sound right to me.
Secondly,
It's either I denied the
secondly,
Quran or the,
if not Omar, Muslim women, they will not wear hijab. I mean, how in the world this is happening? Omar, the story says that Omar, he keep asking Muhammad to make his wives wear hijab, wear hijab, wear hijab. Muhammad, he don't answer. Then one day, Omar, he made fun of Sauda. She was doing poo-poo. So the reason for the hijab for all Muslim in the world is the poo-poo, the ass of Sauda, and the savage Omar who is making fun of her ass. This is the reason. All this time Allah did not notice that women, they should wear hijab, just because Umar, he said something. And again, as Umar said, Allah took the verse, he put it in the Quran, and he make the order for hijab.
yes, yeah, that doesn't sound right at all with me.
Okay, so I mean, have you ever seen something we today which was spoke about sound right? Anything? There's nothing in this book sound right.
Yeah, well, you know the things that we're told, you know, some parts of the world about, you know, how Muhammad was like one of the best generals, one of the best persons, and that kind of stuff.
Our friend Muhammad is the best man between all mankind, but this is always a fabrication of those, you know, who wrote this history about the best man? The Muslims. If the Muslims describe Muhammad as horrible as they are describing him after they say he's the best man, so imagine how was bad he is. To make it simple for you,
You know this. You know the story.
listen, my friend, listen carefully. Let us say I was in the army of Hitler, and Hitler was victorious, and now I'm writing how amazing Hitler is, and I say there's a guy, he have a slave, and the slave, she was insulting Hitler, and then Hitler said, who killed this slave? Bring him here. And then the guy, he stood and he say, Hitler, this slave was insulting you. And Hitler, because he's amazing and he's all justice, he said, because she is insulting me, her blood is for free. Remember, this is a history written by the Muslims. So if this is the great man, the great history, the Muslims here, when they wrote those stories, they are proud of it. They are not reporting something to be ashamed of. Do you understand?
Yeah, I understand. And even between the hadiths, there's disagreement between different schools of thought.
My friend, no, the disagreement, let me tell you about the disagreement. This is all is a garbage talk, because the Muslims, when they disagree about something, is just to support a propaganda. As an example, if you are a Shia, you say this book I don't agree with. If you are a Sufi, everyone here have his own propaganda, so to support his ideas.
Yeah.
Otherwise, all those hadith, there's no guarantee, and the Quran too, there's no guarantee. Okay, if we go now in the page number A in the Quran, I don't know if you have the Arabic Quran. It says that this Quran, according to recitation of the following,
or Hafs
Hafs ibn Asim, and Asim ibn blah, 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 blah. Okay, what is the Quran? There's no Quran. All of this is recitation.
Yes.
Okay, what
And
is the
the,
proof? What is the proof that this is the true Quran? If Asim himself accused by a Muslim to be a fraud,
and there's a Quran in Welsh. You know, people in Morocco, they have Welsh or Welsh. I don't know what it's called.
yeah,
There's a different.
there's many Quran. Yeah, correct. But
Yes,
my friend,
even that's something
but I'm
strange.
trying to tell you that the idea of who support and who agree, this is depend in the propaganda and the agenda. As an example, the king of Saudi Arabia right now, to support his royal family, they push some hadith in the front. Don't go against the ruler. You know what I mean? It's a game. It's just
Yeah,
to control. So,
yeah, political.
or exactly. So, but the hadith is there, and nobody can deny it. But if you have an agenda, you can say this is weak anytime you want. You can say I don't agree with it, because we
Yeah,
are
that's
not
true.
saying I don't agree with Muhammad. What they will say, oh, this guy, I don't trust this report. You see, like to avoid to be like you are a guy denying what Muhammad said, you say I don't trust this guy, but you don't dare to say I don't trust Muhammad. So this is a dirty game. Like when we show the Muslims saying the Quran saying that the sun set in murky water, they start saying to us, it
What?
doesn't say that.
Say that again. Sun sitting in what?
In a muddy hot water.
In a what? What do you mean sitting in a water?
The Quran says the sun set in a muddy water, chapter 18, verse number 86.
How is that possible? You can't sit in a.
This is what the
The
Quran
sun.
is saying. They ask Muhammad, tell us about Zulqarnain.
Can you show me that, please?
Yeah, it's in the screen. Now, every Muslim who will defend Islam, he will give you his own propaganda answer. Oh, it doesn't say really. This is how Zulqarnain he thought. It doesn't say that. Read it carefully. The Allah is reporting, not Zulqarnain is not talking, saying that when Allah he established for him in the earth.
What's Hamia?
Hamia mean hot, boiling.
Oh,
Yeah. So we establish for him. They are asking you. They ask you the same as the other stories. You know, they ask you about the crescent moon. They are asking him how the crescent moon happened. So he could not. He have no answer. He says this is for timing, but it's not a question. They are asking him how this happened. How this moon sometime is crescent, sometime it's round, but he have no answer. He said this is for timing. Then they said they're asking you about Zulqarnain, and there is no guy. His name is Zulqarnain. Have you ever heard of a guy that have a name? Zulqarnain, the word Qarnain in Arabic mean two horn. Have you
yeah, I
ever
know.
heard of a human have two horn? No. So
Oh, the
Muhammad,
thingy. There was a legend. There was some legends. Yeah, I think I know what he
this is
refers to.
Alexander
There
the
was a
Great. There's a legend written about Alexander the
yeah.
Great by a Syrian person, a person from Syria. He wrote a story about Zulqarnain, full of fiction, but the person is real, but the story around him is fiction. So Muhammad he took it and look, he said we established for him in the earth and we gave him all means, so he's a prophet of Allah. And then so he followed the way until when he reached the setting place of the sun. Can you tell me where the setting place of the sun?
That's wrong. It can't scientifically. It can't be. You know, it doesn't have a
But he
place.
is saying until he reached the setting place of the sun. This is the one is talking is Allah, not the guy.
Well, that's not right. It doesn't make sense.
That's stupid. Not only not right. So
It's not a place
and
because
then,
if you're in China,
right,
yeah, it's going to be different.
no, my
Do you
friend,
know?
the
Do you know?
sunset everywhere. I'm talking to you right now. It's sunset in my house, and I can see the sun setting from my window. I do not need to go anywhere. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Until when he reached the setting place of the sun, he found it. When you say I found it, I'm reporting a find. Correct? It's a fact. It's not like he thought, as Muslims they try to say. He found it sitting in a spring of Hamia. And the Muslim they say, oh, he meant like when he saw the sun going in the ocean. Oh, first of all, my friend, it doesn't say ocean. It says a spring, and a spring is not an ocean, correct?
Yeah, spring is water. Yeah.
Why it says a spring? Because there's legions about you see,
still water and spring water.
no, there is like many they could not explain why some places in the earth have boiling water in the ground. So many they have a legend that this is because the sun jump in that water, and that water, this is the place where the sun sleep. So this is a legend. Muhammad he took it, he put in the Quran, and then he found near it, near what? near where the sun sit in place. I mean, how in the world this is? And then the Muslims, in order to save, they give you this false interpretation. But Muhammad, as usual, he cannot keep his mouth shut. Muhammad, he is a very good man when it's come to stupidity. So he cannot keep his mouth shut. And look what he said, that Muhammad, he was riding in his donkey as usual, and Abu Dharr, he was behind him. I was sitting behind.
Understand why. Yeah, sorry, I don't understand why you have to lie in order to, because it's a matter of salvation. If you lie about your salvation, you're fooling yourself. Really.
Exactly, but
that's why.
But because in Islam, my friend, because in Islam it's allowed to lie, so it's a practice, it's tradition, it's religious. So it's good to lie in Islam. Actually, there's many Muslim scholars, they are proud about somebody lied to someone and made him convert to Islam. It's not a shame, because supposedly he is saving him. So I was sitting behind the Messenger of Allah, who was riding a donkey while the sun was setting. He asked, do you know where this set? I replied, Allah and his apostle knows best. He said, it's set in a spring of warm water. Do you see it?
Yes, Hamia.
So why they lie to us? They say this is how Zulkarnain he thought, and this is not what it says. Do you understand?
Yeah, things are clear. I don't understand. That's one of the things that kind of makes me wonder. Like, if he clearly says this, why do you have to give your own interpretation? And yeah, sometimes I don't understand it.
So after all this conversation, my friend, what do you think? Why you want to leave Islam?
Well, to be honest, in my heart, I just I try to like explain and say maybe there's another way. But when you read it, if you're honest to yourself, and a bit intelligent, you don't really have to lie, because you're lying to yourself. If that's what it says, that's what it is. But for me to to go out officially and say that I left it, there's going to be a bit of consequences. Where I'm from is not that easy to say, look, I just left it.
So let me understand you. You are saying you are not going to say I left, but in your heart you left.
Yeah, I always had one. I always wondered, and even this going in the direction of the Qibla, didn't make sense to me.
You are a person who just left Islam, but you don't want to say I left Islam. I got it. Okay, good.
Yeah, where I'm from is difficult.
I understand. So, my friend, I'm happy for you. You call me to prove to me Islam to be true, and we have the end of the conversation. You agree with me that Islam is a false religion. That's wonderful. Happy for you.
Well, if I'm completely honest, I'll have to admit, logically, I'll have to admit that scientifically there are some things that don't make sense. The sun setting again, it doesn't make sense. You can lie, you can say okay, it's how someone saw it and that kind of stuff, but at the end of the day, you're fooling yourself, to be honest. And I don't want to do that. Because it's a matter of salvation. It's not
exactly.
So my friend, if I have to lie, then I'm lying to myself, no one else.
I will let you think. I know you left Islam today. I'm happy for you, but I want you to think about reading the gospel, reading the word of Christ,
the Injil.
The Injil, exactly, and think about accepting the true word of God, and you will see how amazing the Messiah is.
Because
you to accept the
where
Messiah.
I'm from, I always see Christian people. Yeah, Christian people, they tend to. I'm not trying to say anything bad, but they always tend to be happier and more happier, and also more. They're not that nervous, compared to us. We're always nervous.
My friend,
and
you
always
go to the mosque. You go right now. You go tomorrow. Go in the mosque in the morning. Watch the people go inside the mosque. They are fine. They go from the mosque. Everybody is upset. Everybody's angry. It's a place where hate is generated. We as a Christian, when we go in the church, we pray for all the world: Muslim, Jews, Hindus, Buddhas, atheists. It is what Jesus said: pray for those who curse you, pray for those who insult you, those who they are discriminating you, those who they are killing you. Jesus in the cross, he says to the Jews, when the Jews are screaming at him, your blood is in our hand, he said, Father, forgive them, they don't know what they are doing. This is the difference, my friend. This is why we are happy people to be following Christ, because Christ, he take our anger. Anger is a poison, will kill you. Hate is a poison inside you. You will be the first victim of your hate, because you will never enjoy anything. You will enjoy even a second with your children, because you think this is why Muslims always they think there's a conspiracy against us. Those are Islamophobic. Those are attacking us. But the truth is the opposite. Go and see how many people just killed in the last 7 days in the name of Allah in Nigeria. Like in Nigeria, in Nigeria they release hundreds of girls. Imagine they are kidnapping them for what? They kidnap them just to rape them and make them have babies. That's all. They want the babies.
I raised this issue with my friend, and he said, for example, ISIS, he said those are not Muslim. But then again, if you think about
why
it,
they are not
whose
Muslims?
name
Muhammad, he did the same. Muhammad, he kidnapped the women, he raped the women, and he took their babies. What? You see, if you are following Jesus, how I can say to you, you are not a Christian? If you are following Muhammad, how I can say to you, you are not a Muslim? Correct?
Yeah, that's true. And also the fact that, you know, when asked, they say we're killing in the name of Allah, they're not saying any other names. So yeah, if you think about it, the teachings and the things that they're getting from is, you know, from the Quran or the Hadith or whatnot.
Correct, my friend. Well,
so
I'm happy that I have you today. Feel free to call me again if you wish, and if you can let your Arab friend call me, that will be a good challenge. Tell him to call. Tell him, hey, listen. As long you tell him, I'm sure you can do better than me because you speak Arabic. I want you to get this guy. His name is a Christian Prince busted.
Yes, he's from Egypt.
No matter where, don't tell me. I don't care. I don't care how big he is, how small he is, how long his beard. All of them, they are the same for me. They will end as they enter. You know, just let him come, and you can ask any sheikh you want, not only this guy. I mean, any sheikh. The bigger he is, the better it is. Trust me, and you will have fun. You will have fun. Trust me.
No,
you will love it.
For me, it's clear. Regardless. But are you coming on tomorrow? So
I don't know, my friend.
Maybe
I have no idea when
house.
I come. Sometime, if I can, I will be here tomorrow. Subscribe, turn on your notification, and if we are here, you will know.
Okay, and I'll let him speak to you. But for me, it's clear. You know, in my heart, I always had doubts and stuff, but now you made them clear.
All right, my friend. Well, I'm happy to have you, and thank you for calling. Take care.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome.